the right will continue to lose. Short term. Long term, as long as they don't let their kids get indoctrinated, they'll be fine. But short term, it's gonna continue. They're gonna continue to take losses. The people at the top, the influencers, the people with big platforms, having millions of people following them, they have connections, they have reach, and they don't do nothing but complain. You want to talk about boycotts? Sending out a tweet saying boycott this does nothing. Does nothing. What they should be doing is reaching out to other big content creators and all spreading the same message in unison to boycott. Now, I'm a nobody, okay? I have a small reach, and I appreciate the few people who view my videos. You guys are awesome, highly intelligent folks. Anheuser-Busch has so many beers. This would be my message. If I was a huge content creator, my message would be just boycott all beer unless it's an import. And I would say just try to stay away from beer anyway. And if you totally screwed up your body, like I said, go for the import beer if you like beer. Or go for like hard alcohol and try to wean yourself off of it, because if you screwed up your body because you have this high tolerance, like it's a cool thing. Oh, I'll drink anybody, like that's cool. I think that's stupid. But because you're contributing to the uh, problems in your body, and you're making things in the healthcare system even worse because they have to focus on you if you actually try to live a healthy lifestyle. Try to fix some of your emotional problems. But yeah, I would go for imported right now. Hard alcohol. Honestly, like I'm not a Russian spy. I'm not a Russian shield or nothing, but they seem to be pretty conservative, so I'd probably be going for their type of hard alcohol. I don't think their companies are woke. See, here's the problem. There's a lot of countries who don't like our woke crap that's here in America. And they're forcefully trying to spread it to other countries. Look at Afghanistan. Trying to change cultures. Look what happened in Iraq. Forcing countries to change. But they don't want it, and half the country don't want it here either. Probably more than half the country, honestly. But that's why I say the right are continuing to lose for right now. Boycott. They don't. These people who are big influencers are not organized. They don't do nothing. All they care about is their views and making money. They might do a speaking event at some type of deal or whatever, but they're not really organizing protest. They're not organizing boycotts, and boycotts are really efficient. When a company is trying to market a narrative to you and you like their product that they distribute to you, you stop buying their stuff. Okay, let me tie this in with video games. So, we all know that Madden, if you're a Madden player, the graphics have gotten better. It's became more archaic style, arcade style, and It's more like um, glitchy. The animations, how it takes over when your receiver jumps up and tries to catch the ball, and then you could do that, and then all of a sudden like it just you have no control over his body at that point to like go a certain direction to try to like get the ball down or something. The same animation, like as soon as the defender touches you, I've dealt with this for since 20, and I'm sure like a couple of video games after that, before that, because I've taken breaks. I don't buy it every year. Um, I can see on Game Pass it's the same thing, the newer versions. So you catch the ball, the defender touches. It's the same thing. Touches the guy, and then he drops the ball all the time. There's nothing you can do. Um, and there's glitches in the game, which I can get over glitches when I look at the sidelines and the players look like messed up. They got some old style helmet that has nothing to do with, like, they don't have the name on the back. They just look like a generic. They haven't done anything about fixing that. They haven't done anything about fixing the franchise. They put some assistant coaches. It's like, I just don't care, man. Like, put all the stuff that you used to have in the game back in the game. Well, what people should be doing, and I think this is the video game industry altogether, people should be boycotting video games, especially the new video games. You know, I played video games all the way from like since I was like 6, okay, and that was in the 80s. I was playing the first Nintendo, and I might have played the Atari a little bit. I remember my dad had that when I was a real little kid, but why with like the good graphics that are out now? Why am I thinking about, if I want to continue to play games, buying an old system and going back to the old games? You know, that's pretty bad. I was pretty excited for MLB 23 the show, and I looked at the old one I have, and I was even thinking about upgrading the console just for this game because I like the game. And I'm like, man, they really haven't changed much at all. I mean, they changed a couple of things. In the franchise, they make it harder, more realistic to trade for like really good players, but it's pretty much the same thing as 21, and this is 2 years removed. You know, Madden hasn't done anything for franchise really for like a decade. I remember playing those old games and being like, it was pretty. There's a lot of depth there. Whether whatever. Anyway, all video games is now is about money. It's not about creating a great experience for the consumer or the people. Creating a game is an art form, and that's been lost. That's what it initially was. And I know this is supposed to be about Anheuser-Busch, but whatever. You see, the same game comes out every year, and it continues to make a ton of money. And the same people keep buying the same game every year, even though that they worked hard last year, spending their actual money or time building up their ultimate team, and they lose all of that to do the same thing this year, and they're going to do it next year and the year after. That's insanity to me. I really have never had any type of desire to play Ultimate Team. I've seen it. I never thought it was cool. I've looked. I've tried to play it a little bit, but it just does not intrigue me. It's not really realistic. And if I wanted to play with old school players, I would just import them into the franchise mode. And I think that there's ways to do microtransactions in the franchise mode, but they refuse to do anything to franchise mode. Um, and what I'm trying to say is people should be boycotting. And if people boycotted this game, if people boycotted Anheuser-Busch, that would hit their pocketbooks huge. that would hit their quarterly, whatever they call it, profits going down. I don't know how analysts say it or business gurus say it, like whatever the quarterly statement is, whatever. They would have huge losses, but people will keep buying it. I'm at the point where I'm just like, so since everything is so stagnant right now in our society, seeing and I made a video about this, but seeing video games being regurgitated the same thing coming out every single year, like I said, they should pretty much not even put franchise in Madden anymore. Um Movies be garbage, and like I guess there's a couple good TV shows. I remember like watching um the one with the drug dealer. uh he was like a regular person, and he made, I forgot what it was called. But I mean, for me, I'd rather interact. um I don't like just sit here watching movies. It's got to be a really good movie. Like for me to sit here for like 2 hours and watch a movie is just so boring to me. Top Gun was pretty interesting to me. That was a pretty interesting movie. But for me to sit, I can't interact. I'm just watching. Um, so like to me that's boring. A lot of people is cool with that. I'm not. Um, but to see like video games, to see music, to see uh everything is just stagnant, and it's almost like I would rather dude on here commented said he works 7 days a week, and he's awesome, and I'm thinking about doing that. Like, what else am I gonna do with my time? I can just build myself up, and I mean, I can play a game and I can grind, right? And it's like a job anyway. Why don't I just go work a real job? I already have a job, but work another job and actually do something that helps me out financially instead of like wasting my time. And I don't mind wasting my time. I don't mind playing video games and having that type of lifestyle, but it's not getting any better. And what am I going to go do besides that? I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I'm just gonna sit here and wait till I go back to work all weekend. Like, it's just kind of like, for me, it's stagnant, it's boring. I don't want to drink. I'm trying to get healthy. I'm trying to improve myself. Um, and being aware of everything's happening right now with our society, with politics that ultra divide with people. And I wanted to wear this hat because I wanted to say, like, the people on the right are going to continue to lose because they're losers. They're pathetic. And I'm not saying like people like me. I'm not saying about the regular worker. The regular worker is pretty strong, but the leaders are so, like Tim Pool made a great analogy saying like the politicians are so weak and pathetic. They're like soy boys. You see like an Antifa guy and like skinny little guy, a pipsqueak or whatever, you could just go ahead and manhandle. But he's actually like he's putting everything on the line and throwing a firebomb. And I'm not saying people should go out and do that. I'm not advocating that at all. But he's not caring. He's not caring that he's going to go to jail or possibly prison. And the people on the right are just going to continue to, like, they're just kind of asleep. They see what's happening, but they're just continue to go on with the system. And what they should be doing is trying to make changes in their lives to go against the system until the system actually wants to um, put good shit out. Like, stop going to movies. I don't have any type of desire to go to a movie theater. I have no desire. I don't even want to fucking date at this point. Um, um, And people should be trying to go and making small communities and living a lower lifestyle, but people don't want to because they want to keep their comforts. They want to keep their McMansions. They want to look like they are rich when they're really not compared to other people. And people just aren't impressed with shit. And like I said before, you're if you want to make yourself look rich in this society, you're making yourself out to look like a target, because there is a concentrated of poor folks who will target you. They'll see what you're driving, they'll see what you're wearing, and they will target you. But if you look like a regular person, you're walking around like I walk around in just sweats and a hoodie or just like a regular t-shirt. I kind of look like a bum, but I don't look like I have money. And I really don't anyway, but I drive a regular car. I mean, it's like almost 5 years old now, but I don't look like I got money. I'm probably better off than, I don't know, 60% of the country, maybe 50, at least 50% of the country. I'm better off than with my investments. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to brag or nothing. But I don't look like and people need to be minimalistic, and like I'm trying to say is, and a lot of these people are Christians, and they're so worried about vanity and shit. And if shouldn't you try to live a humble life? This is for people on the right. Shouldn't you try to live a humble life? Why are you going to mega churches and listen to some pastor that has like these expensive watches and these expensive suits, and he's like Joel Osteen has like a $50 million house or something. He's worth $100 million or something, or I don't know. Not Pat Roberts. He's probably worth a ton of money too. But there's this other pastor, and he's worth almost $1 billion. Like, what? Why do you have? And I know it's not all just like cash, but why are you not doing anything to help other people? Shouldn't you? These companies just become so big, and you see this with Anheuser-Busch, and I'm gonna go ahead and boycott Bud Light. Well, then you go and buy something else that they have that they sell. I don't know what other beer, Stella, I think, or Michelob or something like that. I'm gonna buy that instead. But you're still giving them money. You're just not giving them money through Bud Light. And that's why these companies need to be broken up. And this is why I put in the video game analogy, because EA has complete authority when it comes to the rights of the NFL. And what this does, whether it's a monopoly or communism, it's the same type of thing. And this is what people don't think. Oh, we can't pull this all the way. Okay, then you don't have a problem with monopolies, and you don't have a problem with slavery. Oh, be a communist. Okay, you don't have a problem with slavery. It is what it is. I mean, but what we need is a bunch of small companies. That's when capitalism works the best. Because why was video games so good in the 2000s, 2005 and stuff? Because you had all these different companies competing with each other, and they're trying to put out the best product that they can. Well, if one company has sole rights of this type of licensing, it doesn't have to. They don't care. They'll put out whatever product, and people, as long as people keep buying it, they don't care. They don't gotta change nothing. They ain't gotta try to put the best version of the product, and that's what people are like hoping for. Like when you hear a new game comes out, you're like, oh man, I'm so excited. This is gonna be so good. The graphics are gonna be good. They probably gonna be more in depth. They have this. They have that. There's gonna be new characters. Blah 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 blah. And they pretty much regurgitate the same crap. Like whether it's Call of Duty, or Halo, or um, Madden, whatever. It doesn't. It's the same result. They monopolize, and they control people, and people still want to play that game. If NFL 2K was able to make games and compete with Madden right now, I couldn't imagine where we would be. And that's what monopolization does. Monopolization and communism stagnates growth and innovation. That's what happens. It's the same result. And that's what you see what's happening with our society. You see these big companies get up other companies and they monopolize, and it just causes stagnation. And then you got the government taxing people to hell. And it's just like, I'm only working just to survive. I'm not getting any. It's pretty much the same thing as communism. That's what it feels like. It might not be straight up communism, but it feels like communism. It rhymes with communism. It's not. It goes against human nature. Communism goes against human nature. We want to do better. We want to think about a better tomorrow. We want to prepare ourselves for a better tomorrow. But when you lose all incentives to do that, whether it's our society becoming completely individualistic, and it's so weird. Okay, look at this. Look at what the lead is pushing. They're pushing climate change, yet they're still pushing individualistic type of ideas, lifestyles, feminism. And that goes against the narrative. What people should be doing, what they should be doing if they really cared about the climate, is not pushing individualism. They should be pushing nuclear family if they really cared about the climate. Because individualism just, people need more spaces. If we're all going to be separate, we're not going to live under the same roof. If females are independent and they're completely don't need no man in society, well, they need their own space. Well, you need somebody to build that space, and then you need somebody to give power to that space, provide water. You need companies to do this. If she was with a man and they had a family under one roof, it's less resources. Now, what I'm saying is, yeah, if they have kids, it takes up resources, whatever. Well, if you look at the demographics, people are going to be screwed in the future. You're going to have less things. It's going to take longer to get the things that you want to buy. It's going to take more money to get things that you want to buy because it's going to be more scarce. And I think they're doing this on purpose. It's a weird thing that they're doing right now. Because if they're really scared about climate change, then why are they not taking the lead and downsizing their own lives? And that's why I don't trust these people. That's why I don't believe anything that they say. What I was trying to say about individualism is we keep separating and we need our own spaces. That takes up more resources than a family. They want us to continue to buy. They want us to continue to buy the new thing, the new iPhone, the new whatever. And if they really cared about the environment, they would refurbish things and try to make used things in style instead of new things. But they're not doing any of that. And that's why it's hard to believe anything that these people say. You know, when you mine a resource in Canada, send it to China to be manufactured, or you could send it to India for them to, I don't know, break it down there, and then it goes to China, and then they manufacture it there, and then they send it back to America. I mean, it's just kind of weird. Why wouldn't you just manufacture it here or in Canada? You know, why are you sending it across the world? It's crazy. For cheap labor. And that takes up a lot of resources to do that. It takes up more resources to ship it across the sea and back. And I'm not against global trade or nothing like that, but I'm just saying, like, it takes a lot more. They're talking about carbon footprints and this and that, but We need innovation. I got to get off of here because I got to take my kid, I think, to school. But we need innovation, and everything's stagnant now because everything feels monopolized or communistic, or it feels like that. And you don't really have incentives to work hard individually for your family or you when it feels like you're just making this company rich and you're not, or the state rich, same thing, and you're not getting anything in return. And it's hard to be motivated to innovate or work hard in this type of environment. And then that's a part of the reason why you're seeing people say, I don't want to work, I don't feel like working, because there's not really a carrot there anymore. And that's what these people are so disconnected from reality that they're making 300, 400 times more than the lowest worker, the CEOs. They don't understand this. They don't understand what's going on the ground. They live in a bubble. And I think a lot of people on these influencers live in a bubble. These internet influencers. And they say, oh, this and that. And they complain, but they don't do nothing. They just want to put out short content and work for themselves individually, which is fine. But it's old. And you're not doing nothing. And it's just, what are you doing about it? You're not doing nothing. So, yeah, I would just say, I've already said what I had to say. Oh, I just dropped my new album. If anybody wants to check it out, I think Chameleon is probably the best song off of there. It's number 13. It's called Make America Great Again. Enslaved Ones. It's on all streaming services. So if you want to check that out, that's cool. I also think that Chicks with Dicks is pretty good too. But I record everything myself. I use an Xbox headset, so it's not like it's the best recording, and I'm definitely not the best singer out here. Um, it's just freedom, you know. I'm influenced by punk, so punk is freedom, and a lot of songs might be crap. Maybe I might make that one song that fucking everyone likes one day. Maybe I won't. Um, that's all. That's all it takes is making that one song. Get all the one hit wonders. You listen to that one song. The rest of the album is trash. It's hard to find good songs. It's hard to make good songs. But yeah, if you guys want to check that out, that's cool. If not, cool too. I'm gonna come out with my song book that has all my lyrics and my poems that I wrote. I'm gonna have that on Kindle. It's gonna be for free, and I'm gonna see if I can change my other book to um, make it free. I only made it for money because I was looking at like influencers on YouTube, and they said that more people will see it and take it seriously if you actually put a price up. But I don't care. Like, I just want to put my message out there. But all right, yeah, that's it.